Hello everybody, this is toysareruss, and for this very special blokees figure review, we're going to be looking at the brand new Action Edition Megatron figure. So we've got so much to cover in this video because this sounds a little bit like John Hammond in Jurassic Park, but I really do feel that with this figure, there's been no expense spared. There is such an abundance of accessories, the articulation is incredible, and again, you can just maneuver so many things around, so many different poses. I think you're going to be really shocked by how good this figure is. Now, a couple of things before we get started. I need to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please. And also to thank Blokees themselves for sending me this. And of course, if you want to get one of these yourselves, you can get one of these from showz as well. Now, I'm going to move everything out of the way now. You can't see all the accessories at the bottom just yet. I want to show you the box. Now, the box is huge. It is absolutely beautiful. Again, it is G1 Megatron. For those of you who are unaware, Blokees are they're a company licensed by Hasbro and Takara. You can see there, they've got the official license on it. So that means they can make figures of our favorite characters, call them by their proper names, and get the best likenesses. Now, this box, as I say, is huge. It's lovely, it's sturdy, it's reflective. You can see we've got a G1 Megatron on the side. You can see it's Action Edition number 2. I'm going to briefly show you him with Action Edition number 1, which was, of course, Optimus Prime as well, as showing you some of the Megatron figures at the same time. Now, you can see all the things on the back of here, and I'm going to show you these. We've got Laserbeak, we've got this fusion cannon, we've got a throne, we've got a stand. Honestly, guys, there's so many things that come inside this box. Now, yes, you do have to assemble him, but I think it's fun. As I say, it's a little bit like mixing, Lego with Transformers. So I think they've absolutely nailed it in that particular aspect. What I'm going to do though now is bring this box out of the way because it is huge. Now, as I say, I have pre-assembled him. To be honest, I did it in about 45 minutes. It didn't take me long at all. But what I do definitely want to show you, just as I adjust the camera, just because sometimes there's things that do confuse you, or myself anyway, I'm going to be completely honest, and that is on this particular one here. See this parts list, H1. Don't be worried if you get towards the end or if you're starting to build up and these 6 here are still on the frame. That is because you can see there's crosses through them, so you don't need them. Now, they do look important, and as you're building away, and unless you've checked this, you're looking at them thinking these look really important. I'm sure they're going to needed to be somewhere, but they actually don't at all, so don't worry about that. The instructions are fantastic. They're dead easy to follow. You build an arm, you build a leg, you build a torso, etc. And then there's a whole, pretty much the remaining half of the booklet on all of the accessories that are multifunctional. And indeed, I'm going to show you, hopefully, in as much detail as I can on this. So this is the figure itself. And as I say, it's not transforming, unfortunately, but in this day and age, I think all everybody's particularly bothered about is how they look on the shelf. And because we're probably never going to get, especially not by, of course, an actual licensed company, we're never going to get him to be able to transform into his Generation 1 official mode anyway, so it makes no difference to me. So of course we've got the light piping, the LED there, which works off the magnet. Now, if I turn the light off, you would see that his eyes light up, his chest light up, and even these bits here do as well. So you can sort of make that out, which of course straight away is a lovely little feature. The head itself is on a ball and socket. It will go all the way around. It will look up and down, the same as the neck. You do have a choice of expressions on the face. Here we go, let me show you there. So there is, of course, it looks like a maniacal laughing one. There is another. But what I did is I went with the closed mouth, and the reason why I went with the closed mouth is just so you could see the eyes in that little bit more detail. It's quite simple to replace everything. All you would do is you would just take this part of the helmet off here, like so. I'm not going to do it all the way. I'm just going to show you and give you an idea because, to be honest, that's the one I want. So I'm going to keep that on there, and then you would take these side bits off, slide this out, and indeed, whoops, slide everything all back together. So the good thing about this is, and the reason why I'm showing you some of the things is exactly that, because like I've said, there's so many things that are in fact multifunctional, and I'm going to show you quite a few of them. Is that the right way around? Yes, it is. So that's the head. The articulation, as I say, is fantastic. I've just built this together, so let's make sure everything is all nice and secure. I'm also going to get this thrown out of the way for now, just in case it starts to focus on that. Right, the arms again will go all the way around. They will come How much will they come at? Yes, this will move. It is very, very stiff. It'll come, there you go, all the way up. You can get the full T with that by the looks of it. You've got a swivel at the shoulder. You've got a bicep flexion. Yeah, that's the definite swivel. You've got wrist rotation because I've put these all on. The hands I'm actually going to pop off for you, and I'm going to show you these close up because this is crazy as well. So you've got articulation, you can see here, on the knuckles, on the extended parts of the fingers. So even these little hands, even though they're all plastic, there's articulation parts to them all, which again, it's just crazy, to be honest. It really, really is. So that's the arms. The waist, as you'd expect, has a full 360 unrestricted, which is great. The hip skirts are all completely on their own individual little pegs as well, so you can move this one forward, you can lift this one out to the side, you can kick these ones out to the back. They are all literally attached via their own ball and socket joints, which also means as well when you come to the legs, you can take them all the way out, and of course if you wanted to, you can kick them all the way forward. You can see the hinge in there, which is just again really sturdy, really robust. There's a swivel as well. There's a huge knee bend. There's an ankle tilt, rock, toe tap. Look at that. The toes even on its own hinges, which is just, honestly, it's so cool. I couldn't believe it as I was building this. Just as I say, the attention to detail that's gone into this. It's incredible. I also love the fact that you can do this. You can raise the side parts up in there. And it also, you know, reminded me of the fact, I don't think you actually can. I don't think you can holster any of his weapons in the side, but you can lift both sides all the way up as well. They come with the red inside, which of course completely mimics, or completely, I suppose, replicates, that's probably the best word, the Generation 1 Megatron with the inner red legs, which was of course the Hasbro version. If it had the blue inside, it would have been the Takara, which to be honest, I would have perhaps been more, no, but I would have expected that to do more. Now I've got his fusion cannon on the G1, and I haven't put this onto him yet, because this again is just another brilliant, just an idea, just again where you get this so much use out of these particular figures. So you can see on the forearm there, and I'm pretty sure I demonstrated this with the Optimus, so I'm going to carefully demonstrate, or attempt to. Oh, there you go. So you can slot this off. I'm going to put it straight back on, but what I'm going to show you is the alternative. So the alternative would be, is it that way? No, it's the way I had it, where it would just be completely flush and there would be no gaps, there would be no holes visible at all. Now of course you've got the option for both of them on either forearm, but I'm going to leave them both off, and the reason why is you're going to see now. Now the one that's really obvious is of course the fusion cannon, but look how cool this is. So we can bring this up, rotate that over, we can do a bit of copy and sound wave here. What I mean by, look at this laser beak. So this you build up yourself. It's just really good. You can move the head. Oh, I've just popped the head off. You can see how simple it is to reattach though. You can move the neck of this. In fact, let's move him out of the way a second. So the neck is articulated, the head is articulated on a ball and socket, the wings go up and down, the legs move backwards and forwards, and again you've got two sets of legs for this. So at the moment, because I'm going to be attaching this to his forearm, that is the one set of legs. Again, if you didn't want them, it's very simple, just separate there, swap the legs over, and then what you've got is a normal set of legs. So he would it'd just be exactly the same, but without that big tab there. But as I've said, I want to keep the tab because I want to show you the fact that you can, and this is what I'm going to be doing. That's why I've kept it off. You can then pop this, there you go, straight on the forearm. It's so good. It's so simple, and silly things like this just, yeah, impress me quite a lot. So that's there. Let's get his eyes lighting up again. So brilliant. And his chest. And of course you can do the same with the fusion cannon. So the fusion cannon, you've got the holder there, and to be fair, that looks to be like a 5mm one. So that means, as far as I'm concerned, I think you can put it in the hands of some mainline figures as well. But of course I'm going to be attaching it there. Look, they've even gone and got a translucent sort of blue plastic part for the end, which is brilliant. Yes, you can spin this and move this around a little bit if you wanted to as well. And also, funnily enough, just while he's in reach, that is your normal standard Blokees Megatron figure. So you can see that they've really upped their game with this ginormous sized figure there. So that's just, funnily enough, because he's there, it's a good idea for a comparison. What else you can do as well, which is another really nice touch, you can take this off. I just had a quick go at this, to be honest. That's why it's not pushed all the way in. You can then, if you want to, attach that to there as well. So you've now got a giant fusion cannon stroke gun as well. So, you know, because it's a model kit, you can do loads of things with it. You can, oh, I had to pull that out. I nearly pulled that bit out there as well. But you can play around with it. You can adjust things. You can maneuver things. And they just all fit and slot back into place fantastically. You can see all the joints inside. You can see, I suppose, how sturdy, stroke, how robust they are. There is them two. Right, so just for now, let's take these off, because in fact I'm going to keep the fusion cannon on because I think he just has to have it. So what you've got is near enough what I would class as an industry standard attachment inside the hand. Now what I mean by that is, what would you do is you get one of the accessories. We've got this blaster. Let's just move the thumb out of the way. This will then locate over here. Oops, I've just knocked his hand off. Maybe I am too heavy-handed with things. That, you can see, will fit into there, no problem. And then if you wanted to, of course, you can, I should have done that already, clasp the fingers around, but let's just very simply attach the gun. There we go. So you can do that, as well as the fusion cannon, which of course is great. And of course there's so many other things. We've got his other sword, like so. So let's attach this here. See what I mean about no expenses spared? Wait till you see the rest of the stuff. These are just a few of the things, and these are the things that, let's be honest, I suppose you expect to see with the masterpiece style figures. And these are like a fraction of the masterpiece style figures, but again, they don't transform, so that'll be the main reason why. So there we've got his saber, there we've got his gun. There is, of course, his energon mace, and yes, this does move around as well. It's got articulation points at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of articulation on there. Yes, you have to build this up yourself as well. And of course, very, very simply, pop the hand off, locate that into there, and funnily enough, let's bring him in, because it's only fair that we do now. There is Action Edition Optimus, and I've kept the Energon axe there as well. So these pair up really, really well. In fact, these, let's get them both working. So we've got his matrix lit up, and we've got his chest lit up as well. So as I say, this comes obviously with the figure, so you can see, there you go, they're all lighting up really, really nice. I'm going to actually learn to do some decent posing photos one of these days, because some of the figures like these are just so much fun to in fact pose. So let's take that off. I'm going to take the gun out of his hand. I'm going to show you some of the other things that he did in fact come with. In fact, let's take this out of this hand as well. You've got the stand, which you can see is behind it. Yes, you've got to build this up as well. Yes, you probably pop that on there. And to be honest, if you wanted to, you could store quite a few of these things. I'm not too sure what goes in there. I think that's just for his feet, to be honest. Yes, that'll be just for his feet. But if you wanted to, you could squeeze in this. That will grab around his waist, and you could in fact have him elevated. Let's see if I can do this. I've had no practice, but let's see. Oh, there you go. Will it hold his weight? Oh, there you go. It holds his weight. You could pose him in numerous ways as well. But again, as I said, they seem to have thought and taken care of everything. If you wanted to pose him on this particular stand, they've also got another attachment where you would take... knew that would happen, where you've got to take this. You could then change this attachment, and then you've got your laser beak. So you could even then, if you wanted to, just pop laser beak up on the stand, and of course have Megatron next to him. So as I say, they really look like they've thought of everything. You've got the change of the legs. There's also a reflector camera, which is brilliant. You know, it's just an added little bonus. And you've already seen, and I need to bring it back in, is the throne. The throne itself, it's bigger than the Studio Series 86 one. It also acts fantastically, which I'm going to definitely be using it for, because I love things like this. I say that with the figures where you can store all the weapons on the back. You can store loads of things. So the other thing I haven't shown you yet is a little Kremzik. There you go. You can even make out the facial expression on that. So we can put Kremzik in there. We can put reflector in there. We can put Laserbeak spare legs. We can put the spare forearm pieces. What else have we got here? In fact, I'm going to, as I say, because I'm going to be keeping Laserbeak on his arm, I'm going to keep this little bit safe in there so I don't lose it. But you get the gist of the fact that you can store. Let's see if I can get the gun in as well, because I don't think, yep, I'm not going to be displaying the gun. These I don't think are going to fit in, but I can't see why you couldn't pull them apart and make them fit, in all honesty. What I want to do very quickly before I sit him down, just to give you an idea, because just in case people ask, and I am still lucky enough to have this one here as well, that is YOLO Park Megatron. So YOLO Park Megatron is a bit bigger. This one it does have die cast. So this, I think they're about the same price, to be fair. I can't remember, maybe the Yellow Park is a fraction more, but you don't get anywhere near as much things with this. But obviously this is a bit more premium. What I mean by that is there's more die cast in there than what there is with this. But again, it just depends on what you're collecting. I suppose the only annoying thing that people might find is that none of them, you know, do scale with each other at all, and they don't scale really with your mainline figures. That's of course Earthrise, and even with the bigger, slightly bigger Optimus, he's still, I don't know actually. Let me have a quick look. Let's bring him in for you. Maybe you can let me know in the comments if you think that Commander Optimus does in fact scale with him. I'm not too sure, to be honest. The Earthrise one definitely doesn't. The Commander one maybe does, but again, it's another idea for you. I think the only thing, and I'm sure you'll agree, is this, it's just maybe a tiny bit chibi-ish with the large hands. I don't know. Again, you guys let me know what you think in the comments with that. So let's have a look. Let's see if I can do this. Watch me probably disconnect his legs, so I've probably just jinxed myself, but there we go. Let's bring these hip skirts up, bend the knees back, and let's see if I can get you to sit on there. Oh, can I or not? Let me have a look. I think I can, just about. I told you I'm not very good at posing these figures, so I can sit him upright. I just have to put your feet flat, don't I? Put your feet flat. There you go. So he will sit there. Let me have a look if I can attach Laserbeak to the stand. I haven't seen anybody, I don't think, attach him to the stand. It doesn't look like it, but let's be honest, he's got... so that's the problem you're going to come in. If you've got this particular tab on, obviously he's not going to rest on there. You are going to need to... replace with the version with no tab, but I definitely am going to be displaying this guy pretty much exactly like that. One more quick couple more quick comparisons. Let's get some of the War for Cybertron Megatrons. So this one was your first Netflix one. So this is the one without all the extra bits of detail and the chain around his neck. And again, I suppose you've got that sort of similar look to it, but of course this one is more G1, and of course he hasn't got any huge tire or tank treads either side of him as well. This one, funnily enough, no, this one is pretty much exactly the same, to be fair. That's the self-shaded one. Again, bigger, a lot more chunky. I won't say as robust, but of course with this, if anything does start to pop off him, it is very easy to, I suppose, reattach. I'm just going to bring some other figures to give you an idea of size. These aren't supposed to scale together. This is just purely what I've just said to give you an idea of how big he is compared to some other figures. So that, of course, is a Generation 1 Cab Optimus Prime. That's your leader class overcharge figure, so bigger than that particular leader class figure, but that's because he's more chunky, but I don't think he'll be anywhere near as big, or maybe he will actually. Let's have a look. As another mainline figure. So yeah, you're talking probably leader class sort of style or size figures with them. But I think I've pretty much, or I hope I've covered everything on there. If I've missed anything, guys, just let me know. You know, as I say, I do all my reviews like this, totally off the cuff, get them all done in one take. And again, I don't watch anybody else's just in case, you know, it taints my opinion on the particular figure. But I think you could tell that, I don't know what it is with Blokies all of a sudden. I just think that they've nailed, they found a niche in the market. They found a niche in the market where A, you get to build it, which is fun. B, they can use the proper names, they can use the correct likenesses, so they just make really good figures. And for that reason, as I say, that's why I do really like them, and I look forward to seeing how many more of these crazy action edition figures they do. But there you go. I want you to let me know what you think. If you got him pre-ordered already, it's well worth it in my opinion. He is fantastic. Thanks for watching. Take care.